Hey there, welcome back. I'm the Blackbird and this is the Glowing Coal series. So the first one up is Tangled Up in Blue by Bob Dylan. Let me talk about that just briefly before we get into it. In case you were wondering where I got the title for the Glowing Coal series, it comes directly out of this song. If you're still paying attention about halfway through, you'll hear the lyric where the text comes from. Bob Dylan, of course, unique songwriter and poet. He broke all sorts of ground, artistically speaking, and was ruthless in defending his own artistic freedom, even at the expense of scandals and irate fans. I hope that I can open up the song for you, the world inside the song, and that you enjoy it. And please let me know in the comments how the song lands with you. Do subscribe if you haven't, and follow along on the journey here and on all things Blackbird on YouTube. And then without further ado, I welcome you to Tangled Up in Blue.
Early one morning the sun was shining. I was lying in bed, wondering if she had changed at all, if her hair was still red. Her folks, they said our lives together, the show was gonna be rough. Never did like Mama's homemade dress, Papa's bank book wasn't big enough. And I was standing on the side of the road, rain falling on my shoes, heading up to the East Coast. Lord knows I paid some dues getting through. Tangled up in blue. Now she was married when I first met her, soon to be divorced. I helped her out of a jam, I guess, but I used a little too much force. We drove that car as far as we could, abandoned it out west. We split up on a dark, sad night, both agreeing it was best. She turned around and looked at me while I was walking away. I heard her say over my shoulder that we'll meet again someday on the avenue. Tangled up in blue. Now I had a job in the great North Woods, working as a cook for a spell, but I never did like it all that much, and one day the axe just fell. So I drifted down to New Orleans, where with luck I was to be employed, working for a while on a fishing boat somewhere outside Delacroix. And all the while that I was alone, well, the past was close behind. I seen a lot of women, yeah, but she never escaped my mind, and I just grew tangled up in blue. Now she was working in a topless place, and I stopped in for a beer. I couldn't stop staring at the side of her face in the spotlight so clear. Later on, the crowd thinned out. I was just about to do the same. Well, she was standing there in back of my chair. She said to me, "Don't I know your name?" I muttered something underneath my breath. She studied the lines on my face. I have to admit, I felt a little uneasy when she bent down to tie the lace of my shoe. Tangled up in blue. She lit a burn on the stove and offered me a pipe. "I thought you'd never say hello," she said, "'cause you look like the silent type." She opened up a book of poems and handed them to me, written by an Italian poet in the 15th century. And every one of those words rang true and glowed like burning coals, pouring off of every page like it was written in my soul from me to you. Tangled up in blue. I lived with them in Montague Street, in this basement down the stairs. There was music in the cafes at night and revolution in the air. He started into dealing with slaves. Something inside of him died. He had to sell everything he owned, and he closed up inside. And when then finally the bottom fell out, I became withdrawn. The only thing I knew how to do was to keep on, keeping on like a bird that flew. Tangled up in blue. So now I'm going back again, got to get to her somehow. Yet all the people that I used to know, they're an illusion to me now. Well, some are mathematicians, some are carpenters' wives. I don't know how it all got started. I don't know what they do with their lives. For me, I'm still here on the road, heading for another joint. We always did feel the same, we just saw it from a different point of view. Tangled up in blue.
Really, so note to myself, don't swap back and forth between producer and performer, because the brain doesn't do it. At my age, the brain doesn't do that anymore. You got to do one, have a coffee, do the other, have a coffee, do one, kind of thing. So, she was first mad. Can't do it.